Episode 102. All of that stuff that I've been calling anniversary stuff from 100 and 101 is over now. Time to move on. With patch 3.4 dungeons complete, I guess with the trend that I've been going with, I would skip whatever raids would have come out for patch 3.4 because of reasons that I've gone into before. For now, anyway. And move on to patch 3.5 main scenario quests, since I don't think there was any more from patch 3.4. But rather than do that, I think I'm going to go a little bit out of order for the remaining stuff in patch 3.5 and patch 3.55. Plotted out a course just a little bit. Now that I'm done with 3.4 and entering 3.5, instead of doing the main scenario quest, I'll go and actually continue with more of the dungeons. Actually wrap up the remaining dungeons we have here in the bar, and that should be everything from... I think I've been saying 3.4 and 3.5, but I meant to say 2.4 and 2.5. And that should get rid of everything here. And following that would be, well, other things from patch 2.5, before we get into the main scenario quest, but we'll worry about that later. For now, the dungeons. I think I'll do Keepsake first. Should be, well, we'll see. A wayfarer like yourself must be privy to all manner of tales, yes? So tell me, what do you know of the adventurers who purged the cultists from the ruins of Amdapor Keep? I did it. What? It was you who did the deed? Then you are just the person I have been seeking. There's a man I would have you lend your ear to, a hero known as Adistan. He dwells in Camp Tranquil, from where he surveys the Twelves Wood. Of late he has sensed dark stirrings in Amdapor Keep, and would speak with one who has braved the ruins already. I shall put no more words into Brother Adistan's mouth. Pray attend him in the South Shroud. If you give him my name as proof of your intent, he will not withhold a single detail of what he has observed. Amdapor Keep, of course, is not the city of Amdapor. City of Amdapor being the more exciting one where we fought Diablos, a memorable encounter there. Although we're teleporting into the vicinity of the city of Amdapor. Again, mainly for myself. The city of Amdapor is over there, in the big tree or something. Right over there, where you fight Diablos. Big, mushroomy, fungusy area. Over in this direction is Amdapor Keep. I guess a little keep that they have outside of the city. And that's where we fought some cultists, and I guess the boss was just a big lizard or something. Adistan, I think we've talked to before. Maybe. I don't remember. Every NPC. Yes, I'm Adistan. One ever listening to the Shroud. Pray tell, why have you sought me out? You are come at Lorian's urging? Good heavens, the elementals smile upon me, sending one of the brave souls who smote the cultists within Amdapor Keep. Well met, my friend. I am here at Arun Senda's behest. There goes my dryer again. I'm gonna wait for that. I have the laundry running again. It always takes 2 runs before things are done drying. Maybe even 3 runs, depending on the load. The audio is going to be a little bit bad this episode, when I'm talking. I'm here at Arun Senda's behest to investigate the keep. You're here because of my findings. Terrible things fester within those ruins, and someone must destroy them. Yes, even though the Lambs of Dalamud and their dealings with Voidsent plague us no longer, the fell presence hanging over the place grows stronger by the day. Wood Whalers ventured into the keep to find the cause. Their reports were chilling. Someone has completed the cultist rituals, and summoned the most ghastly of Voidsent. Over them reigns a leader, peerless in might and malice. You must fell this void-sent lord, and so dispel the foulness hanging over the ruins. Maxine guards the gates of Amdapor Keep. I shall alert her to your coming. There's a second beep. Always has to beep twice, my dryer. Don't know why. Now go, my friend, and may the elementals guide you to victory. It's the worst when the dryer beeps over dialogue that I have to talk over. If I'm not actively talking, then Audacity, the process that I have, gates out all of the noise from the laundry machine, the dryer, as well as the beeping from it. Oh well. What brings you back to this tainted place, adventurer? Ah, so you are the one who has answered Brother Addiston's call to enter the ruins. I warn you, though, the keep has never been more perilous. The evil that dwells within has warped the forest life, turning woodland animals into brutish beasts. The place is feral. Our only hope is to slay the void-sent at the heart of the castle. If we do not, well, I pray that the elementals guide your way through the keep, adventurer, and your victory brings peace to the forest. Wait time is proposed to be 11 minutes. Hopefully that is true. That was almost enough time for me to finish folding my laundry. Looks like we've got Santa on the team. He's not quite dressed for the holiday quite yet. I think we're taking a different route from what we did in the normal mode of the dungeon. I think we initially went to the right upon entering normal mode, and now we're going left. Or we're going backwards or something. Stage hazards. We had one more. It somehow avoided the pull. Didn't aggro on anything. I guess I could have pulled it for the tank. I don't know. Although I guess it wasn't just one. No wait, those are just mini mobs. Yes, this looks familiar. We normally came in from the opposite side over there, opposite of this main door. Everything's all overgrown now. And now we actually fight a boss outside, rather than going into the door. Some statues around. I guess we need to bring those near the statues. And that tethers to the statue instead of the player. Oh. Did I need to put some distance between me and the boss? Looks like the statues only have a set amount of health, so we probably need to be careful about managing that. Make sure they don't run to zero by tethering to the same one over and over. Just a guess. The boss is going to go down before we even see much of that mechanic anyway. This is actually getting a bit ahead of myself, but this boss is using some moves somewhat similar to Odin. I guess as a guy on a horse, they're doing some similar things. Not that I fought Odin as this character, but I remember from my main character. And rather than going through the front doors, I guess we climb up the tree. The second boss in this dungeon was previously the demon wall. Who I think should have maybe been the final boss, because that's kind of a more memorable encounter than whatever big lizard we actually fought. Maybe wasn't tough enough to be a final boss, but they could have made it tougher and more memorable, I guess. I guess I'm just speaking because after this game, sometime after this dungeon was created, the normal mode, much later actually, they created the demon wall fight in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which was super memorable. I shouldn't stand under that thing. And of course, that boss in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was based on the original incarnation in the original Final Fantasy VII. Not that I played that, but I assume it was pretty memorable back then too, if they made it memorable in Rebirth. All I'm saying is, the Demon Wall seems like a good, maybe gimmicky fight to make as a final boss rather than a mid-boss. Don't know who's going to be the second boss in this hard mode dungeon though. Out of range. They're all grouped up. And I'm out of range. Uh-oh. Naughty tree ant. That's a pun. I don't know where the safe place to stand is. The boogeyman. What's the gimmick here with these balls of light? It's invisible. I guess we hit the luminescence to make it visible? Or give us the ability to see it? Doppelganger. We made a second. Now we're gonna have to find 2. Are we doing this right? I can't tell. Just seems like a lot of damage is all. Over here. I guess one person with the like buff needs to hit it, or something like that. It was actually a similar boss in a way later expansion. I guess they rehashed this one for that. I don't remember this. Oh, demon walls. Cool. I'm glad they brought this back. I guess it's less of a boss here and more of a encounter situation. Still, seeing all these demon walls is pretty cool. We're probably going to DPS everything down before we actually get too pressured by them, but it's nice to see. Can you actually wipe here if you take too long? Like, do the demon walls come in and crush you? Is there like an animation for that? Always nice to have a dungeon where the enemies come to you rather than you come to them. Don't stand in front of that guy. Healer almost died to that. "90 seconds to crash down." How fun. There must be an animation if they're giving a pop-up text for it. Oh, that's it. We avoided the demon walls. Yes, but you weren't invited. Well, no matter. You shall have a splendid performance all the same. Speaking of Diablos, I guess related to Amdapor, Ferdiad. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, he tethers and they do the same thing, so... You probably only need to kill one to avoid... if they copy the wildcard attack, I guess. But we just do such heavy DPS we can kill all three. Uh-oh, he's stuck. Did I need to move? Probably take this thing out first. I see. That thing was making his move grow bigger. Ah, the attack lingers on the ground. It's swirling right next to me. Hopefully it doesn't get much bigger. Actually, I think our tank was a woman. Can actually tell under all that armor. I guess Freddy Dad isn't done. I'm glad to see you unharmed, my friend. By Maxine's report, the people of the 12th Wood owe you many thanks for vanquishing the Void-Sent Lord. Yet its death does leave a question. Who summoned the fiends, if not the Lambs of Dalamud? My friend, saw you aught within those sinister walls that might provide the answer? Well, I wasn't paying attention, but hopefully Komori was. Not another living soul, you say? How curious. Could it be that the summoner quit the keep then? Yes, unless... In your last venture inside, you came upon cultists attempting to summon Void-Sent. This time, did you perchance to see their remains upon the ground? Did you? I didn't notice. Huh, then I know the truth of it. There's no living soul who brought the Void-Sent upon us. No, it was the blood of the Lambs of Dalamud, the very same that stains the ground. The dark sigils drawn by the cultists must have been finished but for a sacrifice. How ironic that their own blood should bring the rites to completion. It was mere coincidence and nothing more. No sinister forces here conspired. No mortals eagerly beckon Void-Sent into our realm. We may put this matter to rest. Save for the Void-Sent Lord at the heart of the keep. I had assumed it was an unthinking brute. But from what you said of its manner, mayhap it had cunning aplenty. Indeed, this fiend could have beguiled the Lambs of Dalamud into all of this. If dark forces are able to so lead mortals, then grim days lie ahead of us. But such ill musings do not suit your victory. I shall enjoy this respite from danger, as I hope you shall too. Go well and rest assured that Arun Senna will learn of your valor this day. If Komori isn't sick of Void-Sent yet, she's sick of it. Well, she will be sick of it soon. After all, we still have the last set of the Crystal Tower raids to do. which, surprise surprise, ends up being about voidsent, as we learned in the last quest. You were saying something about Ferdiad's intelligence. I guess we only glean that from the way that Ferdiad talks to us, but there are only a few lines here. I guess through some of Ferdiad's moves, you could understand that it's a more cunning type of voidsent. The very last thing. Amdapor, no, not Amdapor. We just did that. The Wanderer's Palace, rather. Wanderer's Palace would have been the very last item in the list, other than Castrum Meridianum and the Praetorium relating to main story stuff. The last thing in the list in the original incarnation of 2.0. For a lot of people, the very first time they played the game, the last high-end dungeon, other than these two, of course. And this is the hard mode version of that. Capping off the 2.x dungeons, optional ones, with a quest into that. Now, of course, the original Wanderer's Palace was about Tonberries and whatnot, and we fought the Tonberry King. Let's see what this is about. Good day to you, my wayfaring friend. Say, you wouldn't happen to be the woman who slew the Tonberry King, would you? I knew it, by the onion. I have a fine gent for you, looking for you, that is. He has an appetizing proposal on the table, and I think you should pay him a visit. He is one of the treasure hunters at Camp Bronze Lake. Oh, and he will of course be there with his partner. The two are inseparable, but I'll let them tell you more themselves. Well, off to La Nocia with you. I think the first time we went into the Wanderer's Palace, there was some prelude story which didn't have a conclusion, as quests didn't have them back then for optional dungeons. The prelude story was that someone lost their companions inside the Wanderer's Palace, so this could be somewhat of a callback to that. I don't think they're the same people we got the quest from, definitely not. But I guess the fact that they're companions dealing with the Wanderer's Palace maybe have something to do with it. Well, it depends on the dialogue we're about to get. Let's see. I say, are you here for us? Then you will want to speak with my partner. Him. Eh? Blozong sent you our way, you say? Well, I'll be twice damned, it's you. The heroic lady what lopped off the Tonberry King's head. Do you remember us? We was the pair around the entrance to the Wanderer's Palace. Saw you right before that great bleeding Tonberry stabbed us. Here, wasn't we stabbed, love? Huh, I didn't actually realize. I thought those two died. I think during the recording I even wondered if they died. But I guess, those two adventurers that are just wandering around, and I think they even have a health bar indicating that you yourself can attack them. They managed to get out. I think no matter what you do, they don't actually die. You can't, like, one-shot them, no matter how high your level is or something. They just kind of get reduced down to 0.1% HP and escape, so that they can meet us here for this subsequent quest. Oh, it's good to see that they got out. Indeed we were. 'Twas most unpleasant. Now, adventurer, you are here to do something we would prefer not to do ourselves. Venture into the Wanderer's Palace again. Best we start at the beginning, eh? Like I was saying, we was acting away at little Tonberries when the big one snuck up behind us. And we tried to fight it off, but it got the best of us. Never been in worse shape. Just lying there, bleeding. Else I thought we weren't long for the realm. Just as I was thinking of me last words, lo and behold, the Tonberries we'd been having it out with started treating us. Nursed us right back to health, they did. That's when we learned the truth about the Tombies. See, they was only menacing folk because of a curse that you lifted when you slew the Tonberry King. How convenient. I'm sure that was the last thing on Komori's mind, when she was out killing tonberries. At art, the lot are calm and twice as kindly again. It was a right pleasure having them take care of us for a fair spell. It's a pity those peaceful days didn't last. A band of Mamulja, what call themselves the Silver Scales, came storming into the place. They say they're mercenaries, but they're nothing but the scum of the bleeding realm. The howling, the blood, so many dead. As if that weren't enough, the surviving tonberries were locked away deep in the ruins. Why in the name of the 12 do they deserve such a fate, I ask you? We had grown rather fond of the tonberries while living amongst them. They have good hearts, no matter how odd their appearance. None of that should matter anyway. This fellow is a Huron and I am Mikote. Are we lesser a couple for a difference? I should think not. My heart goes out to the tonberries, truly. To be so betrayed, so ill-treated, and locked away in some horrid dungeon, and by one's own people no less. My dearest and I know their pain all too well. We both had to leave our birthplace. Why, you ask? Simply because we were different. No, we will not sit idly by and let the tonberries be subjected to such terrible treatment. Well said, love. But much as we'd like to give the Silver Scales the boot ourselves, we can't stand up to a cartload of Mamulja. So please, say you'll do it in our place. The Wanderer's Palace is the only home the tonberries have got. Now, you'll have to speak with Sabazi Tarazi and get a ride in his boat across the lake. What's it now? Bon voyage? Yeah, why haven't you spoken with Sabazi Tarazi? I can't very bleeding well ferry you over to the Wanderer's Palace, can I? Don't bow just yet, we're talking to you next. The two of us had to leave our village, but we always have each other. The tonberries have only the Wanderer's Palace, though. Please return them to their home. Funny that this thing about redeeming the tonberries and having undertones of being persecuted for appearance and whatnot has the persecutors be the Mamulja, which, not really a spoiler, but end up being redeemed in their own sense, much later on in Dawntrail, the home of the Mamulja. That's not really a spoiler, they talk about the New World and backstory and stuff even at this early stage. But the Mamulja kind of they get put in a different light later on. For now though, they're the enemy. Come on that treasure hunter's errand, have you? Well, I'll take you across the lake, but be warned. The palace you're making for is held by the Silver Scales, and their leader is the most fearsome of the lot. Now the tonberries aren't friends of mine, but even I think the way that the Mamulja have them imprisoned is wrong. Capturing them, turning them into thralls, go and give those sellswords hell. And the last time we're going to have to wait for a dungeon, optional dungeon, in 2.x patches. Wait time says 15 minutes. Hopefully it'll be sooner than that, but I can at least finish folding my laundry. The Wanderer's Palace once again, this time with more Mamulja and more friendly tonberries. And they can talk, apparently. Ah, needed to summon my carbuncle. Oops, walked into that one. And now I'm asleep. I'll be napping on the job no more. Now the Mamulja are from the New World, a location which isn't really a spoiler, known to be to the east, or west rather, I always mix the two up, far to the west of Eorzea. So far it's not even on our world map or anything. And a number of them come over to Eorzea as mercenaries. Not simply for coin or whatever, but to test their abilities or something like that. As is their culture. Many of the Mamulja that we'll see around here will probably have pretty simple speech. And it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I think it's probably okay to say since there's a lot of content that goes back and forth in terms of content made during Endwalker or even the most recent expansion, Dawn Trail, which is accessible now in 2.0. That reveals a bit more about the Mamulja. Some of those include certain Blue Mage quests, which have Mamulja as some of the main characters in there. And kind of paint them in a little bit better of a light, but still kind of keep to some old trappings of the Mamulja writing. But the spoiler I'm talking about is that the Mamulja don't actually talk in simple terms or whatever because they're unfamiliar with Eorzean language or whatever. It's simply a ruse, so to speak. They play the part of some unintelligent mercenaries or something, I guess I don't even remember the exact reason, to stay under the radar for whatever reason. So like the way that this guy talks, you brave to defy silver scales, brave or stupid. It's sort of a retcon that basically makes it easier to write the Mamulja when you actually meet them in their homeland in Dawn Trail. We're not going to fight the scale. Oh, okay. Just lead them out. That makes sense too. That standard buffs these guys, but I guess if you lead them out you don't have to worry. Because the New World is so far away from Eorzea, I guess the ruse kind of makes sense, or rather it's believable. Because people look at these weird travelers and think, oh, maybe they drink blood or something like that. That's actually a line from one of the Blue Mage quests, as a little joke. Guess we're going all the way. Someone's hanging behind. That's Silver. That's Sophis guy. Now I know the second boss in this dungeon is going to be difficult for me, because I don't remember how all of these standards work. He's got like a bunch of mechanics that I don't remember what you're supposed to do. Oops. Didn't mean to hit the standard. Damn. Well, it's no matter, I guess. It should de-aggro once I get far enough away, right? Not that it's doing any damage. Sissy Gulool jaw. And here comes the first standard. The green one? Nope, that's Toad. I'm a Toad now. Maybe you don't stand in any of them? I don't know. I'm a Toad now. The green one. Good. I learned how to untoad myself somehow. By accident. Why is he doing so much damage to me? Well, it's someone else's turn to be a Toad. Do they know what to do? You gotta get in the turquoise one, Vladimir. Or we just kill the boss for you. Well, I know how Toad works now. Don't know how all of those other standards work, though. Damn. I haven't really been paying attention to all of the tomberries we've been freeing. I guess I've mainly been focused on the Mamuljaw. This is about the tomberries, though. Wait. Did I use it on the wrong key? Oh wait, we have multiple keys. Or one key fits all. Hey, treasure chest. Oh, I already have one. Ah, we need to lower the water. Oh, oops. I aggroed. Going all the way, huh? Well, I can't keep up. And in the room where we fought the Tonberry King originally, the Blessed Siblings. Apparently this was the model that they used for Gulool Jaw Jaw back in Final Fantasy, what was it, 11? And they touched it up for this game. Of course, Gulool Jaw Jaw is a completely different person. Oh no. A completely different person in this game. His name here is Mola Jaw Jaw. But Gulool Jaw Jaw is a different person whose model is being reused here. I guess he's technically two different people. Gulool Jaw Jaw Final Fantasy XI and Gulool Jaw Jaw Final Fantasy XIV. I got hit again. Damn it. That guy really gives you no room to escape. I guess I'll stay close to the boss. Oops, meant to do a resurrection there. Managed to get out. I think amidst all the chaos I may have said some wrong things about the Jaw Jaws or whatever. One more time. Gulool Jaw Jaw Final Fantasy XI was a guy. His model is being reused here for Mola Jaw Jaw. But Gulool Jaw Jaw Final Fantasy XIV is a completely different guy with a different model. But he is still a two-headed what are these guys called again? Mamool. Mamool? Mamool Jaw. That's the species. And somewhere in the new world... Oh. That's terrible. Well, somewhere in the new world somebody mourns this guy. Pretty brutal. They kind of use the Mamool Jaw as the villains here. I make it a little bit of a humorous thing for the Tonberries, I guess to paint them in a better light. Ends up making the Mamool Jaw a little bit Well, it makes me feel bad for them, is all. I dare say that glint in your eyes means the sellswords harass the Tonberries no longer. Or no more. Here, have you swept the sellswords out of the palace? Ah, that's a splendid lass. Our thanks to you for saving the Tombies, honest. Allow me to add my thanks to his, miss. You have our gratitude on behalf of the Tonberries as well. I think they truly deserve succor. Can you imagine losing your entire being to hatred? Little wonder the Tonberries became monsters. Neither of us are strangers to hate. Growing more spiteful with each passing day is sadly the province of those who are shunned by all around them. Yet malice will turn us all to monsters. The Tonberry told me as much one day. It gave me pause, to think of wandering for ages with a heart ruled by rancor. The Tombies have known more than their fair share of our times. So from here on out, we want to make sure where they live stays a sanctuary. Fortunately, while there's venturers like yourself about to knock invaders out, we won't have to fear for the Tombies. Now we're off to a right old reunion. Good fortune to you, friend. Knowing what we know of the Blessed Siblings now, I wonder what this guy's story was. Why he came to Eorzea to hone his craft as a mercenary. That's the ostensible reason why any Mamoljah comes here, but I'm sure they each have their own story. Let's see. I have a little bit of time left, but not enough to do the next thing that I wanted to do. Maybe I can do some side questing around here? Why not? Make the hot springs here a little bit less harrowed down by side quests or whatever troubles these people. This is a place of relaxation, and if people are troubled by side quests, then I can't really relax in peace. This swimsuit, the bikini top, that's a store item. You can't get that normally. To see it on an NPC is a little bit... I'm jealous. We use mulled wine from Wineport to treat the war wounded. It restores the bodily humors and gives vigor to hearts made weary by fever. Why don't you put yourself to some good use, adventurer? I prepared some mulled wine earlier. I need it heated to make warm wine. Will you submerge these bottles in the hot spring over yonder, and serve them to those that need it sorely? Not really a fighting quest, just walk around type of quest. That's fine. We're gonna have to get our shoes wet. Do I have a glamour for this? I don't think so. Any clothes in here that I'm okay with getting wet? I guess I could just take off my clothes, but... well, I guess adventuring clothes is fine for whatever mess you make on it, whether it's blood or hot spring water. I just don't like the feeling of walking around in water in boots. Or getting water inside your boots. I remember you. I was talking to you one time. After we fought Titan, I believe. Damn, got wet after all. My wounds heal, for sure and certain. Not so stiff and sore no more, neither. Have some wine. Obliged, adventurer. That's a mug full of good medicine there. Wouldn't mind taking some of that back to the front. Oh, that's smart. I know I'm counting my blessings. Don't you make those eyes at me. Just saying, it's smarts. Oof, that hits the spot. I don't mind that kind of a burn. It's a fine thing being alive. And don't mind me none, I like you all. Just like my own Levy Moore. Been through a lot together. Guess he lost his group. Didn't realize that everybody here, or most people here, are people kind of soothing their pain after trouble with the war or other battles. Thought this was like a vacation spot, but probably less so. Look at that. I do believe I can move that foot a little more. Sure helps with the hurt, too. Thank you, adventurer. You'll see we'll be on our feet and halfway to being the warriors of light before you're done warming another bottle. Well, normally, being the warrior of light is my job. Maybe next time you can warm the bottle. Damn, I got wet. I'm normally better at jumping. Over here? Or above? Oh, you can just fly. Damn, I can barely remember a time when everything didn't hurt. I feel like I've always been here. Thank you, and cheers. Oh, hot and spicy. Just like the horn we raised when the sergeant was wedded. When the little red-haired private fell. All my friends. I'll be back, you steel-chewing roughnecks. Remember Cartoneau, I say. I was there under the Maelstrom standard, and for every drop of my blood the Garleans paid double. The 12 willing, I'll fight again, and if I fall, well, I'll see my comrades from the flats again. Are these just I'm sure I asked this question when I was here last, but is this just the normal underwear, or is this some actual clothing that you can get? They look kind of like swimsuits, but not really. It might just be the dye, or... Thank you for your kindness, adventurer. Those soldiers you met, they may be champions for our way of life, but here, they're sisters and brothers, sons and daughters. They're so young, most of them, and so hurt in spirit and body. Most will return to the front, and some will not even survive to come under my care again. It's what they want and what we need of them, I know. But I tell myself that I heal them so they can become farmers and smiths, alchemists and rangers, mothers and fathers. For a few it will be true. That will have to be enough. Kinda grim. We'll do one more, just so that both of the quests adjacent to each other are done. As you know from your prior visits, we treat the wounded from the front with all our arts. And with the healing waters of the hot springs, we serve soldiers, but for some unaccountable reason we have a goldsmith here at the present. He simply showed up. We could hardly turn him away. And now he is asking for salamander oil, but we cannot spare any. I find the entire situation awkward in the extreme. Will you extract 4 vials worth of oil from the salamanders foaming nearby, and give them to the goldsmiths? Salamander oil, that's actually something that gets used in a different quest. Goldsmiths. Wait. Let's complete this quest. This is a side quest, but I'm wondering. I'm glad I did this quest. This might actually be something interesting. Not that the other side quests aren't interesting, I just meant they might be bigger connections to the wider world. There it is in the quest description, the quest steps on the right. Now who could this be? We haven't met, have we? I'm surprised he's actually here in a side quest. Most kind, you are most kind to bring me the oil of salamander. I had a need of a large horn, and made the grievous error of visiting a great buffalo with a handsaw. He looked at naught, and I sustained a most horrific scratch. It smarted so, and the ache. Oh no, I was not thrown. I am not so green as that. No, when the beast shook its head, I stepped backwards, slipped and fell. Then I fell again later, strolling back to the dog cart. No need to be shy. You are an adventurer, and I am a goldsmith. The body is simply an instrument. An occasional need of oiling. Oil, madam, oil, I say. Come, my body awaits your ministrations. You got it, boss. I don't think Komori's too happy about this. The relief. Again, I say. You're testing Komori's patience. Ah, I can feel soothing fingers working into every knot. That is your cue, madam. Soothing fingers now, please. You're making this worse by describing it. Worse for Komori, better for me. By the 12, that feels good. Now quickly, with the rubbing. Wait, now we actually have to make it look like we're doing it, you know? Ah, the healing tingle. By the 12, that feels good. No, continuing the rubbing, I guess. Several steps to this quest, and this will not be the last time. Pardon me. Your skill was so great that I was quite transported. Truly no old dawn attendant could have done better. Sublime. I shall now have a brief drowse, then soak in the springs until sundown. After that, a humble meal with white wine from my own stock, and perhaps peaches. Well, I'm glad I did that quest. Komori isn't, but I am. That guy not only is important in a bunch of side quest stuff, he's also somewhat important to the main story quest. That's not really a spoiler, he's just a famous guy. He shows up here and again. Thank you for your service, adventurer. It seems he believes Bronze Lake to be some sort of retreat for the rich. He paid a very handsome fee for his stay, thus far, and profusely complimented us on our asceticism. Oh, you have more? Meteor Survivor ring? Seems like a special one. Maybe next time. I've gone on too long anyway. Or maybe I'll go on a little bit longer. I dislike going on too long for these episodes, but since I've already done it, one more side quest. This has to be the end. And actually, it's about the goldsmith again, so it makes more sense to do it in the same episode. First one thing, then another. That goldsmith passed out from too much heat. We have warned him time and again, this past week, not to stay in so long. Honestly, I do not trust myself to tend to this fool, for I have a mind to strangle him. If a poke revives him, not throw a bucket of lake water on him. There was ice on it this morning. I can't believe there's more. Not gonna do every side quest here, just those two. And because this one was so relevant to other things, continuing it seems like the only sensible option. No, Komori. You poured salamander oil on the man, and you rubbed your fingers all over him. You can get in the water for him. Have some water. Have some more water. This is our last bottle of water. Wrath of Ralgar, what are you doing? Oh, it's you. She has strong yet tender fingers. Is that a title we can get? I was lost, I freely confess it. I came to this retreat as an artisan who crafted... I came to this retreat an artisan whose craft lost its savor, enriching myself by indulging customers' grossest tastes. I was ready to suffer privations, and I did. But today, several hours into the ordeal of the scalding water, my life flashed before my eyes. There I saw forms exquisite, filigree masks, steel, cut to shine like diamonds, graceful galleries of electrum where emeralds took to the air with pearly suitors. I must return to Ul'dah, to my workshop. Goodbye forever, Godbert. Not really. A goldsmith has departed for home, and I am glad to say. He left you this ring, a token of his appreciation, he says. The stone is taken from a fragment of Dalamud itself, created in abiding faith that out of the worst may come beauty. It sounded as though he lost something, or someone, in the calamity. The ring is the only thing I have made in the last 5 years, he said, and now I would like Komori to have it. Extraordinary. A very unexpected turn of events, I must say. I still think him utterly mad, but no doubt he is a more fascinating one. I don't suppose he'd have given me the ring even if I'd... Well, no use fretting over a song already sung. No more. This ring isn't anything special, I assume, but maybe it's okay for glamour. Strange that it's like level 36. It's unique, though. Interesting color. It's got, I guess, the symbol of the meteor or Dalamud crashing down. Maybe put that in our glamour chest. Well, I think Komori's sick of the hot springs now. Maybe she was thinking of taking a break in them, but after that ordeal, she can't stand the sight of the place. Actually, we're nearby a different source of hot springs, aren't we? The public hot springs are pretty uncomfortable, aren't they? Let's go to a private one. This location over here, the Hermit's Hovel, that I've decided Komori has started squatting in some time ago. I guess I only visited it the one time, but I do like to think of it as her home away from home, or no, just her home, because she doesn't actually have a home anymore, or an apartment or a house, even though I have the option to buy that now. In any case, this place is free and it's already furnished, and nobody seems to be using it. So, it belongs to Komori. It's a good place to take a break.